Wheel of randomness, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the 15 minutes that we shall learn. Welcome to Randomly 15 Minutes, where we give you a topic in 15 minutes or less, or your podcast is free. I'm your writer, Sam Rossi, and shortly Megan Klodnicki will be reading a script written by me on a topic she may or may not know about. This shall be fun.
Hey everyone, it's Megan Klodnicki, and welcome back to Randomly 15. And if you are new to us, welcome. And today on our Wheel of Randomness, we are talking about movies. And in my script today, I have where it starts with movies. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, movies. What to say for this third Academy Awards? The nominees for Best Movie are The Big House, Disraeli, The Divorcee, All Quiet on the Western Front, and The Love Parade. Universal's All Quiet on the Western Front wins. All Quiet on the Western Front is a 1930 American pre-code epic anti-war film based on the 1929 novel of the same name by German novelist Erich Maria Remarque. Directed by Louis Milestone, it stars Lou Ayres, Louis Wollheim, John Ray, Slim Somerville, and William Bakewell. I like that name, Slim Somerville. The film opened to wide acclaim in the United States. Considered a realistic and harrowing account of warfare in World War I, it made the American Film Institute's first 100 years 100 movies list in 1997. Big difference if I was going to say 1970 something.
That was like 30 years ago. That
yeah.
was like 2 years ago.
Quite a few years. IMDb, back for the summary. Back for the summary. This is an English language film made in America, adapted from a novel by German author Erich Maria Remarque. The film follows a group of German schoolboys talked into enlisting at the beginning of World War I by their linguistic teacher?
Okay. Sure.
The story is told entirely through the experiences of the young German recruits and highlights the tragedy of war through the eyes of individuals. As the boys witness death and mutilation all around them, any preconceptions about, quote-unquote, the enemy and the, quote-unquote, rights and wrongs of the conflict disappear, leaving them angry and bewildered. The film is not about heroism, but about drudgery and futility and the gulf between the concept of war and the actuality. Facts. With the loss of limbs and gory deaths shown rather explicitly, this is undoubtedly the most violent American film of its time. This is because the production code was not strictly enforced until 1934, and also because Universal Pictures deemed the subject matter important enough to allow the violence to be seen. The scene where a soldier grabs a strand of barbed wire and then is blown up by an artillery shell, leaving only his hands still grabbing the barbed wire, was told to director Louis Milestone by a former German soldier working as an extra who saw that happen during a French attack on his position during the war. What did he do? Milestone used it in the film. The film was banned in Germany by Nazi Minister of the Interior Wilhelm Frick on the grounds that it ignominiously, big words here. Ignominiously represented Germans as cowards. Oh gee, now that makes sense. Nazi minister. Ironically, in neighboring Poland, that country's censorship board prescribed the film on account of its being, quote-unquote, pro-German. The title of the story is drawn from German newspaper articles. The articles would rave about glorious victories on the Eastern Front, but dismiss the horrors playing out on the Western Front in a nothing-to-see-here folks manner by the simple phrase, nothing new in the West. It was banned in Italy until 1956. Nazi rabble-rousers stormed screenings of the film in Germany, often releasing rats or stink bombs into the theaters as the wounds of defeat in the First War I still ran deep. This led to the film ultimately being banned by the Nazi Party. It wouldn't receive proper screenings in Germany until 1956, though it did play to packed houses in 1930 in neighboring Switzerland, France, and the Netherlands, with special trains and buses being laid on to transport Germans to screenings. The novel's title in German is, oh, here we go. I apologize to any German people in our audience. Im Westen nichts Neues, which actually translates to nothing new in the West. This film hints strongly at some very adult themes, such as when Paul and his two colleagues swim over to the French girls, and it is strongly inferred that unmarried sex has taken place. Also, there is some very brief nudity in several places and some mild blasphemy. A handful of years later, the Hays Code started to be enforced to prevent such matters being repeated in future films. The Hays Code was rigidly enforced in the latter part of the 1930s, throughout the 40s, and most of the 1950s, finally starting to be ignored in the 1960s. As this film had several re-releases in the years afterward, it is assumed it became a victim of the censors. Most of the surviving cut scenes were restored by Universal in 1980 under the guidance of director Louis Milestone, who died not long after. The silent version was thought a lost film until a copy was found in France in the 1990s. The first ever film to win Academy Awards for Best Picture and Best Director. Many of the actors and film crew were military veterans from multiple sides of the Great War. Screenwriter George Abbott died in 1995 at the age of 107, making him the longest living person ever nominated for an Academy Award. It also won for Best Director, Best Writing, and Best Cinematography. Well, I've heard of the movie, but that's it. That was the extent of it.
I've heard of the movie. I've probably seen the movie, but I can't tell you a thing about the movie.
Yeah. Same. I don't even know if I knew that it was like an actual movie. Maybe it was just more of the book. But yeah, and I'm surprised that it's pretty scandalous for it being 1930 and then the whole German thing, because I'm like, all during that, obviously the Holocaust stuff was going on, and I mean, clearly
yet.
that's why they didn't want it screened. But
no, the Holocaust didn't start until late 30s.
True, but they obviously,
they knew something was going on.
Yeah. It's eventually years down. It was by the end of the decade of the like 1930 when it came out. But still, it's just, I don't know. Like, just reading about that, I'm like, it's very interesting. And though, I mean, that was the movie's based on World War I, so at World War II wasn't thought of.
Thing yet.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing yet. So I guess that's why the Germans are probably like, wait. There's nothing to see here yet. We don't want them to have propaganda yet. But no, it's I always, like I said in our other movie episode about the pre-code films, it's always great to check those out. So if anyone's listening and they like older films, I definitely say watch pre-code ones, because they're good. And though I don't want to see the hands on the barbed wire, I could do without that. And imagine that too in 1930, like special effect.
Yeah, that would be much more. Wow. Wonder if they used real hands.
Maybe.
Just thinking.
And surprisingly, when I have, because I'm a TCM fan, so surprisingly, when I have watched movies from the 30s, I'm like, I'm pretty impressed. And I'm not saying that they, obviously technology and stuff has advanced throughout the years, but the stuff that, you know, in the like movies back then, I'm pretty impressed watching them.
Yeah, they have some really good special effects for being
Mhm.
so practical.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's I now know about the movie and the background with it, and I can see why it was banned in Italy too. You know, they probably were after their World War II stint and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But oh, very cool to learn about, and I guess I can say there's nothing else like nothing on the Western Front. So,
Okay, I'm Sam Rossi.
and I'm Megan Klodnicki.
Later, y'all.
Ciao.